So I remember walking over there. It was about 7:30 in the morning. I said, what did I get myself into? I'm not going to be able to sit through 8 hours of presentations. I got a lot of work to do at the school. However, it turned out to be probably one of the best experiences I've ever had, because I really got to see how both government officials, the private market, how they interact, how the decisions are made, and why some of the decisions were made. And some of them turned out to be quite surprising. So let me quickly take you through a number of them. The first one is BASF. It's a German chemical company, was originally a German chemical and pharmaceutical country. And this is the furthest decentralized large office building built in New Jersey. Their facility is in Mount Olive in the Free Trade Zone. The big blue body of water there is Lake Apacon. The major road there is Interstate 80. 287 is would be on the far right side. So this is way beyond the boundaries of 287. This is the facility. Magnificent. That's Interstate 80 at the bottom of the slide, 2 parking garages, and then a million plus square feet of office space. And it was custom built for BASF. A number of years ago, they decided to restructure, were forced to restructure. They divested themselves of their pharmaceutical operations, and this facility was far too large for them. So they rented much smaller quarters in Florham Park, and this has been sitting on the market for many, many years now. And real estate brokers such as C.B. Richard Ellis, Cushman & Wakefield, I asked them what's happening, and all they do is roll their eyes, throw up their hands. The private market has completely rejected this facility. It's too far out for today's locational parameters. At the same time, the Exxon, this was once one of the crown jewels of the New Jersey economy, the Exxon Research Campus in Florham Park in Morris County. These are the 2 last office buildings, research buildings that existed. This is a winter view. The buildings kept on for a while. They were sitting there desperately looking for a new reuse. And there's 2 little features there that are going to be persistent through the next several slides. One is this parking area at the bottom right side of the slide, and then this traffic island here between the 2 research buildings. 1 year later, they were gone. There's the island between the research facilities and that parking lot, a winter view. Then BASF decided they really wanted their own headquarters building, custom built for itself, and they wanted to use the buildings as a showcase for all the products they manufacture. So they worked closely with EDA, and they decided on the ExxonMobil site to build their new headquarters facility. As an aside, that was probably, this is a sad story, probably the nation's leading energy research center. If you remember, ExxonMobil was originally Esso, which was originally Standard Oil of New Jersey. So they were a New Jersey-centric firm. Ultimately, they decided to move their headquarters to Texas, and they moved their research facilities to Virginia. But this was this is where actually photovoltaic cells were invented on this site. BASF decided this is their building. When they made this presentation before the jury last year, my first comment was, fire your publicity group. Why would you place a brand new building in the middle of a parking lot and have the dominant feature of it parked cars and the like? I've kept this slide because they've ultimately changed it since then. But this is going to be the only double platinum LEED standard, both interior and exterior platinum status. This, on the far right side, you can see the building under construction. It's far, far progressed beyond this. But up there, you can still see, there's the little traffic island, and there was that initial parking lot. So this was the location of those two research facilities that had been there. That's the Jets practice facility on the top part of the slide. So this illustrates several things. BASF had moved out too far in the suburbanization exuberance of the past. The redevelopment of existing well-positioned sites. This is a theme we're going to see through several of the examples here. And also I'm going to talk about externally supported industries, export-based industries, which are the platinum standard of economic development. Okay, a second one, and this actually happened with very little direct state input. This is in Englewood Cliffs. The building was originally Prentice Hall. It sits between the Palisades Interstate Parkway and Route 9W. And we'll see that a little bit clearer in this slide. That's the Palisades Parkway on the right and then 9W on the left. Again, a very in-lying facility. That was originally built in the early 50s for Prentice Hall. It's a one-story section and a two- or three-story section at the bottom. They had editorial offices in there, and they actually did all their printing of books at that location. Again, it was well-positioned, related to their headquarters in New York City, but then it became too expensive to print in New Jersey in the United States, so it moved elsewhere, and this became superfluous for Prentice Hall. However, Citibank, 20 years ago or so, saw that as a nice location for a check processing facility. Remember those little pieces of paper, 3 inches by 6 inches? You used to do financial transactions with them. Well, that one-story section was perfect for processing, and then they had white-collar jobs at the bottom of the facility. And they located there for two reasons. One was close to their headquarters in New York, and second, it was close to Iraq. How many, raise your hand if you, not John Carnegie, he knows this. Raise your hand if you know what Iraq is. It's the East Rutherford Operations Center of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. This is where all the district members of the Federal Reserve Bank do clear all their transactions and the like. And obviously, a facility such as that, the Fed doesn't put out a lot of publicity, and it doesn't even have its name on the building. But it's right along Route 17, just north of the sports complex, the Meadowlands Sports Complex. This is the facility that's Route 17 on the far, far right. This has many functions. It's close to Newark, and this is about 7 miles on a straight line distance between the old Prentice Hall facility that Citibank took over. This does many things. Normally I would bring it with me. One of their functions is to destroy old currencies. So banks take all the damaged currency, ship it there, they shred it, and then they give it out. Well, they have a huge solid waste disposal, because I think they destroy about $12 billion a year. They give out bricks that are worth that are equivalent to $100,000 and when you go there, fools like me gather up as many as I can carry. They're fun presents to give out. But it's also close to Teterboro and Newark Airport. When currency is printed, it's brought in here, less so than in the past, but it's an automated warehouse that can store $120 billion, and they still count a lot of that money out by hand. And before 9/11, they'd give you a tour, and you'd actually see 30 people there counting all the money to make sure it's there when it's flown in. But that's where all the checks were cleared at one point in time. Obviously, electronic banking and information technology has changed the world. So Citibank, this facility became redundant for Citibank. They needed a little space. Just so happens LG Electronics, the Korean electronics firm, high-end consumer goods, sort of the Sony of the 21st century. It's a up-and-coming rising company, saw this as a perfect location for their U.S. headquarters, which already was in New Jersey, but it wasn't big enough. And they selected this site. Now, why did they select that site? Well, obviously, it's close to New York. It's close to their existing facility. But the key reason was the key executives love the communities they're living in Bergen County. They love the school systems where their kids are going in Bergen County, and that's extraordinarily important to them. So that diversity, our Asian communities that have built up, are now a major locational force for Asian headquarters companies in the United States. So New Jersey's diversity is now paying off in terms of economic activity in the state. So LG Electronics is transferring 500 people from Chicago, 500 people from Los Angeles, and enlarging this. Now, they still have to get this through the zoning board because they need a variance to reduce the footprint and go up to a slightly higher height. But if you look on the other side of 9W, it's all commercial industrial. So hopefully the zoning board will do the right thing. But again, I would not have found out that detailed reason why they're there if I hadn't been on the jury listening to the presentation of this project. AT&T headquarters. This is located in Basking Ridge, exits 30A, 30B on Interstate 287. This building opened up in 1977. So that's 35 years ago.